Backpacking in Faith, a pilgrimage within the Christian community. I'm Katrina.
I'm Liz, and this is our journey. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Today we're having a chat about our recent trip to the Congregational Chapel in Frampton.
It was a good visit.
It was.
I enjoyed it.
Very lovely. Neither of us go to mainstream, regular, religious, organised
establishments
church. We're just not into organised religion, are we? You know, we like more organic sort of learning to follow Jesus through many different sources. We don't really feel the need to go every Sunday and learn something from a specific person. I mean, there is some definitely some importance in that. You know, a lot of people get some really good spiritual feeding from it. But
I like listening to certain sermons on podcasts.
I like going occasionally, but
I don't want to have to dress up.
No.
And I don't want to put a hat on.
Well, you wore a hat last time in a purple suit, didn't you? And some matching purple shoes, and you had a flower in your hat.
Was it purple?
Yeah, or lavender. All right. We did joke about that before, like, oh man, do we have to wear a hat because it's like a village church?
I'm never wearing a hat.
Okay, sorry, it's not church, it's a chapel.
It's a chapel.
So we had to Google this because we didn't know. A chapel is different from a church because a church is a consecrated building.
In other words, if you are attacked by vampires,
yeah,
do not run to a chapel.
No, it's not consecrated. You're doomed.
You are doomed.
Yeah.
Because they will just come in and laugh at you.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you find yourself in like a Quasimodo sort of situation where you need sanctuary, don't go to a chapel.
No, just don't. It's just not big enough. You can't swing off of anything.
No.
There's no bells to ring.
No. However, it did look like a church to me.
I thought it was a church.
It was beautiful on the outside, wasn't it? It was all flowers and
it's difficult to find.
Yes, it is tricky to find. It's down an alleyway and there's no signposts. That's the second pond on the right.
Pond.
We got there early and word was out in the village that we were coming along because that's village life for you. So a lady clocked us after we'd obviously driven round for about 10 minutes trying to find where it was. And we were actually going to sit in the car and have a chat before, weren't we? So we could use it for
we were, but
for
she
this
came
podcast. I was like, oh no, quick, turn it off. We recorded a bit sneakily, only because we didn't want to.
Ooh, sneaky.
We didn't want to be a distraction, did we? You know, wanted to just take it all in. The majority of the footage until the footage.
Footage. There's no footage. It's all audio.
What would that word be? Audioage.
I think it's just audio.
That doesn't sound right. Okay, we'll go with audio. The audio that we were able to use, most of it, we weren't able to use because it was in a very echoey building. But afterwards, we sat out in the pub, which is only a couple of minutes away, a couple of minutes walk. But of course, we drove because we're super lazy.
Super lazy.
And we sat out and had a chat, but it was quite loud on the audio. It wasn't loud when we were sat there, but like was birds. And
you're just going to hear village life, and you're going to hear
clinking of a glass.
But this is the thoughts, and we're just too lazy to rethink them.
Yeah, and you're going to hear this noise.
Lazy.
That's okay to do this?
Yeah.
Because I'm a vapor.
Look, it says the church was built.
Yeah.
In 1776.
Do you mean does it say the church or the chapel?
It says the church, and it says it's consecrated.
Well, why is it called a chapel then?
I don't know. It says church and consecrated, so I think you'd be safe to run there. There's
maybe the building was
apocalypse.
Used as a chapel before, and that's why they've kept the name chapel. Maybe it's something to do with the fact that it's a congregational church. A congregational church is a bunch of people, group of people whose leadership is very shared. Should we look up the actual definition of that? Protestant church practicing congregationalism. That's a long word. Okay, so congregational church means that it's run by the congregation. So Frampton Church have hired, I guess, a minister, a pastor. What would he?
He is an assistant. He was an assistant to the old pastor
who passed away because he was so old.
Because he was old, and he gives them the topic. So they decide, they have it in a book who is doing what day.
Yeah, because they have a worship team made up from the congregation, don't they?
They don't, yeah, but the worship team doesn't decide what the topic is.
No, the dude
He
does.
decides what the topic is.
Yeah.
And then the person who's leading the sermon then has to plan it all.
Right, cool. And that's what happened when we went. It appears that most of the worship team are not professionally educated in a seminary. What do we call it? Is it? Is that American?
That word totally makes me laugh.
I know why.
Seminary. Sorry.
That's an American word because I've watched a lot. I've watched all that Seventh Heaven, and that's what they call it. But I'm pretty sure that's not what we call it.
I don't know. Pastorfield. Good Bible. Go to Bible college.
Yeah, let's just get back. So they didn't go to they most of them, it appears, haven't gone to Bible college. So the service that we went to, the lady speaking hadn't been to Bible college, and we're going to play what we thought about the whole service.
Yeah.
That was lovely.
That was lovely.
It was a bit long, but she did hit on some key points that we had been discussing all week.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
Yeah. Which ones are those you're talking about?
Being able to wait.
Yes.
Being patient.
Meditate on it.
Meditate.
Yeah.
She specifically used that word. She
did?
used it several times, I think.
Yeah.
And that God works in the dark and the light. I said to her, it was just, you hit on things that we've been discussing all week. And those were your key points. Those were her key points, and those are the key points we've been on.
Yeah. Not only was it a very positive and comfortable experience, it was also when we told them about our podcast, they were
open.
They were open to it because it's clear that we don't have an agenda. And I wanted to make it quite clear to them. Should we go to the pub and have a drink?
Yeah, I gotta use the toilet. I didn't want to use the toilet in there.
What's the pub?
Should have, so I
outside.
could say what it was about. What's your toilet like? I don't know, because I don't use public toilets. Are you recording that?
Yes. So it's been on constant record.
We're real.
Yeah.
We're real.
Yeah, we sometimes swear. Shitballs. That's not going in. I'm on the right side, yes I am.
You're the one driving.
You're
actually not on the right side, you're on the left side.
Aha! A pun on words.
I think that was like, you know what? I thought to myself, what exactly did I think? I thought, we'll go as this as a tester, and if it goes well, then, I don't do it consciously, but I guess it's just my human nature to kind of put that out to God. If it goes well, then I guess this is God's way, show me a sign.
Yeah.
That must be a human way, because
the opposite of faith is seeing,
Everyone in the Bible does this, though. They give me a sign.
Yeah, and look what happened to Zach. He made him not be able to talk, so...
Well, he made me able to talk, so...
Yes, he did.
I'm going to take it.
Hello.
I didn't talk a lot.
No, I know, you did great.
Oh, they're lovely in their little dresses. I wonder what church they went to.
Maybe they're just in dresses, Katrina, not everybody.
No, they're all dressed up.
All right.
They're like church special dress up.
Maybe they had...
There was no dress code there. Did you notice?
I did. Not really. I noticed...
I noticed you in jeans.
Yeah.
But I also noticed a couple other people in jeans, so it's all good.
Yeah, there was no hat.
It was very casual, and I think that lent to the family feel of it.
Yeah.
She
said that she was trying to slowly introduce more modern music, like Matt Redman. But I think...
Matt Redman?
He's a modern Christian singer. We were the only ones taking notes. It probably seemed really weird. Wow. You must be used to it.
I am.
Should I tell you what I wrote down?
Sure.
So the first song transported me back to 1820. I really struggled with the first... I struggle with these and nows in songs.
I don't even remember the first song.
I struggle to connect to music like that. And I feel like, personally, my faith I'm not reliant, but I express a lot of it through worship music.
Right.
So, like, to have music that isn't to my taste is a big thing for me. I think because I've listened to Hillsong since I became a Christian, I do struggle with it. I said message for the children, Paul's. It felt very interactive and friendly, and like she was including them, because I've seen children's services before, and they just preach to the children, and that's it. They don't really ask for any sort of feedback.
Oh.
Right at the beginning.
Yeah.
When she was talking.
But she was talking to the whole congregation, calling them children.
Oh, was she? I thought she was
sure.
just looking at the couple of teenagers to the
No,
side.
I think she was saying to the whole congregation.
Oh, right. Well, some of them were quite a long time ago with the children.
That's why they laughed. A couple people laughed when she said it.
Oh.
I think it must be some sort of inside joke.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably an age joke. It's nice to have members sharing. Prayer started almost. With that prayer the guy was reading, when he first started praying, I felt a little bit like insert name here. Yeah, like it downloaded off, and you insert name here. When they were talking about who praying for other people.
Well, the woman came up after the notes.
No, the guy. The guy that was, maybe it was the woman. I can't remember now. And at first I was like, well, it just sounds like a standard prayer, insert names here and crack on. But actually, as he went on to continue praying through it, it was actually a really nice prayer. It just started off a little bit like insert name here. But by a little bit after I had that thought, it was all gone out the window because.
It did probably. I don't have any notes on it, and it did, so it mustn't have even. Was that the donation?
Yeah, maybe before the donation.
Obviously, it didn't affect me.
Yeah.
In one ear, out the other.
That's
horrible. That's horrible.
I
in
think
one ear and out the other.
Affected me because what I don't want is Sunday Christianity. I don't want to be repeating back words that have no meaning. I don't want to be saying prayers that don't mean anything. I don't want something downloaded and repeated. I thought it was fantastic to have such a normal worship team, where not everybody has been to Bible college.
Yeah.
Because, Paul didn't go to. Paul was a scholar, but many of the others weren't scholars. Many weren't. They were preaching from a very real background, which I think is to have that in a ministry team is fantastic.
Even though they just fell into it.
Yeah. Like when she said it when we were chatting afterwards, you guys could join the worship team. Not that she was inviting to us, but she was basically saying, anybody who joins us can join. I thought it was fantastic. It's very refreshing.
Did you just get a bug?
A fly just through my mouth. I didn't quite get where she was going when she was talking about John the Baptist's parents coming from a priestly couple. I didn't quite understand where she was going with why God used them.
But they were barren.
Yeah, but that's not. That was almost like
Oh, I know. I think I figured it out. So 1, they were barren, so they would have been looked down on.
Yeah.
2, John the Baptist goes exactly against the priests of the time. He's going back to the beginning. They've built up their traditions, so he would have been in a family of all these traditions.
Yeah.
And he went, no, we need to cleanse ourselves of these traditions.
Yeah.
And start over.
But the parents had already started that, hadn't they, by taking themselves away from living in the wealthier communities, shunning a lot of the materialism of the priesthood.
Yeah, but I think they probably did. I think that might have been sparked because she was barren.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Whereas he did it because of Jesus.
Yeah.
They did it because of their circumstances, and he did it because that's what he was born to do.
Like, I feel like the message could have been a lot clearer that she was trying to get over.
Could have, yeah.
But what I like about it,
given that she's
it's
not
a different
professional
speaker every single time.
Yeah. given the fact that she's not a professional, she didn't go to study this.
Yeah.
I think she did an amazing job.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Because a lot of pastors go, how long do they go to school for? Years and years and years.
I think my sort of state that I'm in at the moment, where I'm looking, I'm really enjoying getting knee deep in apologetics and real tiny bits, gives me a little bit of a maybe a negative view of the simpler services and the simple sermons.
Okay, yeah.
Not negative in a way that I think they're bad, but they're not just what I want right now.
Yeah.
But I mean that's just me. That's not a lot of people. A lot of people want to just come and hear one word, say, and take it away and meditate on it. I'm like, give me loads of words, and I want to just bury my head in it. Like motorboat it.
Oh my god. I'm so leaving that in. We're gonna motorboat the word of God.
Like, as far as the sermon's concerned, what she was saying about John being so important, I mean, that is so true, because in the time, I mean, those books we've read recently and the movies we've watched recently that were close to the book, like Killing Jesus, it showed that John was essentially a fundamentalist at those times. He was a complete rebel. And actually, if John hadn't have come first and started that, Jesus wouldn't have been able to reach people the way he did. And I think that's why he said he's just the best thing since sliced bread. Because he was laying the groundwork. The environment there, I guess you would describe as traditional, but a modern traditional. So the music, the songs were traditional, but 40 years modern, which in the times of the church is
I don't know any of the songs.
No, well, it's because you're American.
None of them.
One of them sounded like another song.
I did sing one because the tune was very familiar, so I knew the tune, so I could go along with it. I have no clue where the tune came from, but I must have heard it at some point.
Who sings that song, You Build Me Up, Higher Than a Mountain?
Oh, I don't know. Someone with a good voice.
What I wanted to look into after hearing her speak was why Gabriel stopped Zach from speaking. Because we know that God doesn't punish. He's a God of love.
Yeah.
So why did he stop Zachariah speaking? Was it a message to everybody else around him that he'd been in the presence? Was it to stop him saying something stupid? If he'd have been able to speak, would he have talked his way around it? That's something I'd be interested to look into a little bit more. What have you got then?
I liked the prayer after the donation. I felt a bit pressured with the donation, but I think that was just me feeling pressured. I don't think they expected anything.
No, I didn't feel pressured. But I think it's a fantastic church, and I think as far as donations go, I think you have to be kind of go what's in your heart, and I felt like put a little something in just to help them keep
I didn't
going.
have a problem with donation. I think it was from me.
Yeah.
Because there's always some stigma around the donation.
Tithing and donation, yeah.
But when they came up, I didn't know what they were doing. Stood there, and a guy between them.
Yes.
And he starts talking.
I'm
gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite understand what he was saying.
No.
Because he mumbled a bit.
Yeah, he struggled a bit too.
But when I figured out what he was doing, and even though it sounded by rote, there was feeling behind the blessing of the money, and it felt very reverential.
Yeah.
It felt like they truly felt blessed with even if there was a penny in there.
Yeah.
It felt like they still would have blessed that penny.
Yeah, I agree.
In my experience, I've never seen anyone bless the money.
Oh, I have.
That's
a general thing. That's a usual thing. But usually, when they do the blessing,
pretty sure I've
it's
never
a standard.
I've never seen it. They take the money and they disappear in the back. That's what I remember from churches. They don't go up to the front. It's usually a standard
prayer where. But you're right. The way he prayed over it, it was definitely there was lots of genuine gratitude, and an awareness that they were relying on God to provide through us.
Yeah, it was good. It made me feel good about And it took the pressure off of it. It was like, well, I shouldn't have felt the pressure anyhow. So I like that
Well,
bit.
that just comes from our own spiritual baggage, doesn't it? Our baggage
does.
through religious baggage. Sorry, not spiritual baggage.
I thought the singing was beautiful for being such a small church.
Yeah,
There were a bit of, but overall,
that's probably us.
that's probably, well, I didn't really sing much.
No, I didn't really hear you. Actually. Did you hear me?
No.
I was singing quietly, for a reason. I didn't know the songs.
No, I didn't know the songs. But I like that they were like, oh, we can't find the tune for this song, so we'll just switch it.
Yeah.
Just switch it. Name a song. Just choose one. They seem like the type that if you had a family, that's who they want to bring.
Yeah.
I feel like they would benefit, especially if you've just moved here and you have no family.
Yeah.
Then you would have an automatic family going in there. They all seem so amazing and lovely and loving.
Now, do you think it was like that because it is that denomination, a congregational church? Or do you think that is just because that's who they are as people?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to go to another congregational church.
Yeah, down the road, I would be interested in going to another, maybe a slightly more modern congregational church to see what the difference is, because...
Yeah. Well, church does depend a lot on the people.
Yeah.
And the feel of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And what they bring. Because, people's emotions do affect buildings and land. So if there was a lot of negativity...
Yeah.
We would have felt it straight away, and I didn't feel any of that.
No, I didn't.
It honestly felt like a breath of fresh air. And they weren't welcoming just to say welcome.
No.
It was...
And they weren't welcoming because we want members.
No.
We want people. It was genuine.
And it did feel very Jesus-based.
Yeah.
In their hearts, Jesus-based.
Yeah, come from a place of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. I wish more people went there.
Yeah.
But then, on the other hand, if more people went there, would it
end
change?
Up being like a mega church where you can get lost in it?
I mean, the beauty of it is it's small.
Yeah.
So maybe just like one or two new people go.
Yeah. No, do you know what? I don't think, even though they're not older generation, I don't think that they would fight change too much.
They seemed open, and they like to have fun and do things together. Which I think is what gives it that family feel, because they...
Well, I mean, they included us in everything that they were talking about. And, instantly within a couple of sentences, they were like, well, this is, we could do this, or, what are you doing? What can you bring to our church community? But not in a monetary way, not in a, because we've been to bigger churches where we felt very pressured to become members. Hi, welcome. Yeah, can I take your name, your number, your email address? We'll schedule you in. Yeah, to come and have a meeting, and then we'll talk about you becoming members. And we know that the governing bodies of a lot of these churches give funds to places with larger memberships. So there's obviously a reason behind why they want members rather than alongside people just coming through the doors. Which is sad, but then that's organised religion, isn't it, I hope they're all as good as experiences as this.
I don't think they will be, and I'm not trying to be negative, but let's just be honest. There's some churches that are going to rub us wrong.
Yeah. So, okay, who do you think that church would... What sort of Christian, what stage of their faith, what sort of person is that church sort of ideal for, in your mind?
That church is ideal for someone who is looking for support.
Yeah.
Who is looking for a family structure based in faith.
Yeah.
It is someone who's looking for something small.
Yeah.
Someone who maybe is a bit timid and could be pulled out of their shell.
Yeah.
I think they would be great with someone who is maybe not so confident.
Yeah.
Because they don't seem to be judgmental. The shows that they put on are with good fun.
Yeah.
And not to disparage and put down people. So I would think it's someone who is struggling with their self-esteem.
Yeah. I would like to add to that, I would say that church is perfect for somebody who's maybe just coming to know God, or maybe somebody who's not quite there yet, somebody who's looking to learn. And I'm only going on the basis of the one sermon today, and like they said, there's loads of different people that take the sermons, but if that was a general, I mean, the guy even said that's not how he would have done it, but I guess if you're expecting to have a very deep service where you can learn a lot of biblical knowledge, that's not the sermon. But then, we've been out of organised religion for so long, I don't know if any church services are like that anymore. I don't know what to expect.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I guess we will. I think if you go in with an open mind, which is what we're trying to do, I think we can learn a lot from this process. I bet that's really loud on there. So if I'm going to say anything dumb, it needs to be while I'm doing that.
I already said we're going to motorboat the Word of God.
You don't read that. Get in there. Get feisty.
Now you've done it twice.
Yeah,
definitely.
and I did the hands too, which,
and the sound effect.
which is a whole different experience, really.
That's going to be our motto. Motorboat the Word of God.
So that was congregational, and it reminded me a bit of Methodist. I think we should try something Pentecostal, something lively, because I think it would be quite a stark comparison. So it's quite a large comparison between.
So they can
There's
go
one-
hail Jesus, praise.
Yeah, I want a bit
Hands
of
up in the
dancing in the aisles.
I don't want unsolicited touching.
We'll get you a t-shirt printed up. Look, don't touch.
They did say that they talk up and
Yeah,
during some of
I
them.
thought it was amazing. I thought it was fantastic. It's brilliant. That's just what you want. Because, when you first come into faith, you have got questions. I felt, when he said that, like if he'd have said something that I didn't agree with and I thought was wrong, I think that's the sort of environment where you can say, I'm not quite sure that that's correct. Don't you feel this instead? Or don't you think that could have been taken this way instead? I think that's the sort of environment you can do that.
Yeah. I would say that every single person there would be happy to answer any question.
Yeah.
Whether they have, the exact scripture to hand, they would answer it from a love point of view, which is what Jesus wants us to do.
Yeah. I hope it just succeeds, goes from strength to strength.
I wouldn't mind going back at a later date and checking in on them, or going for another sermon to see,
Well, maybe when we finished and got this podcast up online,
to revisit.
we'll go along, revisit, and give them the details of the podcast.
So we're going to try and do more church visits around the area.
Yeah.
Our next church visit will probably be Baptist
Or Pentecostal, something
or
completely
Pentecostal,
different.
yeah.
And then we could go to Baptist, because they're quite a different
Yeah, so we're going
mood.
to try different churches,
Mm.
different denominations,
Yeah.
and basically let you know how we feel about them and
Yeah.
give you an idea if you want to go to that sort of church. Not all churches are the same, because my idea of a Baptist is completely different to your idea of a Baptist.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mine's holy rolling. Woohoo!
And mine's very sensible, serious
Yours is
sitting.
not.
I think, like what we wanted to say about these podcasts, about our experiences at these churches, that we are fully aware that these are just our experiences, and anything that we say about them, we're trying not to come from a place of judgment, but we are only human, and we love these guys.
The Frampton Church people are absolutely amazing.
Beautiful
They're
people,
so
yeah.
lovely
And
and so welcoming.
I know, like, we listened to our first podcast, and I just had a very shocking revelation of how judgmental and how mean I can be and how much I swear. But I'm working on it. Have you seen that photograph? It says, "Be patient, God's not finished with me."
Oh yeah.
Just bear that in mind whenever I say anything, because like I said in the first podcast,
We are a work in progress.
yeah, I'm a loud thinker, so I think whatever I'm saying. And so often I will say the exact opposite of what I've said before, because I'm still processing the information.
Yeah, it is a work in progress, and as we go through it, I
And
listen back to myself and I think, oh my gosh, why did I say something like that?
Or yeah,
How embarrassing.
yeah. Or I didn't mean to sound such a bitch. Or
I didn't mean it the way it sounds, but
Yeah.
wow, it really sounds like that.
and
And
these,
do I really think that? If that's how it sounds, is that what I really think?
yeah.
So it is an eye opener, and I think that's exactly what we need. Because unless you're doing this along with us, do you really get the chance to listen back to what you say?
I think it's a good. It'll
It's
help
good.
shape us. I felt almost a little bit not shell shocked. It took me a couple of days to process what we'd been talking about last time. Do you remember I said to you, I just feel like an awful person just because I feel like I sound super judgmental. I'm not. I just sound it. I don't know why.
I think we're also learning when to take a stand. I know that we need to do everything in love, but when is it okay to get righteous and say, no, you're in the wrong, and tell people they're in the wrong? When do you not?
Yeah. See, for me, I don't want to lose who I am as a person, but I know that I need to drastically alter myself to be a true follower of Christ, to love people and behave the way he wants me to behave. I have to lose part of myself to become that. And that's what I'm really struggling with. I don't want the end result of me to be somebody who just says platitudes and quoting scripture, and I don't want to be that person because I think there's more to me than just quoting the Bible, because I think it can be quite easy all of a sudden to just go, for somebody to ask me my opinion and just go, oh, well, we should just love them, and that's the end of the story. Well, I think life is way more complicated than just one quote or one feeling or knowing that you should be behaving in a certain way. The reality of it is you're human.
Oh, we do have to say bye.
That's my favourite bit, saying goodbye.
Until next time.
If I don't see you in the week, I'll see you through the window. So thanks very much for listening again to our ramblings.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay. The problem with you is you just don't know how to say goodbye. Goodbye is always the hardest. So long as I get the last bye.
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 All right. Thanks for listening. We'll speak to you soon. Bye. No, I'm gonna be all professional now.
Okay.
Bye. 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 You say bye.
Bye.
Bye. I think we've probably got enough bye.
I'm gonna pee before I pee myself.
All right. Bye. 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 Bye.
Okay.
Okay.
You can stop it now.
Yeah.
Did you do that? You can stop it.
Okay, we're gonna stop it now.
Yes. Press stop.
Bye.
Heavenly Father,
Bye.
we thank you for your wonderful word. And I pray, Lord, what we've heard today, that we will meditate upon it, that we will chew on it, Father God, and Lord, that we'll put it into action. Thank you, Lord, for your word. And now, may the Lord bless you with all the blessings of Abraham. May you be blessed with all the blessings in Christ to keep you and your loved ones from all danger and disaster and from all terror. The Lord keep you from all evil. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be favorable to you. May you have God's favor everywhere you go, and may his favor be to you and your family. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and your family and grant you his shalom peace, health and holiness. In the name of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.